Hello, today I'm going to show you how to take apart and clean an original DMG Gameboy. I got this one recently for free. And it is in really good shape. It just needs a good cleaning. So I'm going to show you how to take apart and clean it. So first thing you're going to want to do is remove any games if you have one in the game slot. So I have Tetris in there, so I'll take that out. And then you're going to want to remove the battery door and any batteries if you have any in there. And what you're going to want to need is some isopropyl alcohol, some Q-tips, a screwdriver set, and this is optional, but you can have this Game Boy cleaning kit. I just found that at Goodwill, and I've been using it for a while. I found it to be pretty handy. I recommend getting one. So with Game Boys, they have a special screw tip called a tri-wing screw, and you can see there it is just 3 prongs, and you're going to have 6 screws on the back. You're going to have 2 up here, 2 in here, and then 2 in the battery port, and you can see that tri-wing screw head there. So you're going to want a screwdriver, and then put the screwdriver head in, and then you're going to want to take all 6 of these out. Alright, and once you have removed the 6 tri-wing screws, you can go ahead and gently lift it up. And you're going to want to be careful for this ribbon cable, which is for the screen. And let me prop my phone up here. You can just go ahead and gently unplug it like this, just upwards, very gently like that. You got to be careful not to tear this. And now we have 2 separate pieces. We have the back shell, which we're going to set aside for now, and we have the front shell. And this one is going to be pretty tedious because there is a whole lot of Phillips screws. So you're going to want to remove all of those, and then be very careful taking the board out. Just try not to snap it or break anything off. Alright, so after you remove the 10 Phillips head screws that are there, you're going to want to go ahead and just gently start prying on the board. Again, be careful, try not to break it. It's going to be a little sticky, but it should eventually come out with a little bit of work. Just try your best to be gentle, and there it goes. So now that it's loose, we're going to go ahead and take it out. And here is the motherboard, so we're going to set that aside for now. Be careful of the screen, because if you scratch this or damage it, you're going to have to buy a whole new motherboard, because it is not easy to replace this screen once it's damaged, so just be wary of that. And then we're going to take out the buttons. And the front piece of the Game Boy is now completely disassembled. And what I like to do is I will get a toothbrush and some lukewarm soapy water, and I will just scrub the Game Boy, because you'll see it has grime like this, which is just hand sweat and dirt from years of use, and it's just kind of dirty and nasty. So just very gently scrub it. Be careful of the screen. The glue on these screens tends to dry out, and then the screens will just fall off, so be careful when cleaning these. These button membranes, these rubbery pieces, these can go in water. They can be cleaned. You can see how dirty they get, so just be very careful when cleaning them. Try not to tear them. And you see how these little black pieces are shiny. I'll show you how to fix that later, because they're actually not supposed to be shiny. They're supposed to be completely matte. But you can just clean all of these pieces with a toothbrush. And I will now show you how to get the motherboard from the back part of. So there is going to be 4 screws. There's going to be 2 Phillips head screws right here, and 2 Phillips head screws, one here and one here. And then once you take those out, you should be able to just pull it up and out. You're going to want to be careful of this motherboard down here. It's not held in with anything, but it does have cables attached to it, so try not to tear them when you take it out. And once you've removed the screws, gently grab the big motherboard. Well, first try and take out the power button if you can. Just, again, very gently, and this can be cleaned with a toothbrush as well. And just gently grab the motherboard and lift it out. Be careful of the battery terminals that are attached to it. And also try your best not to touch this copper shield, because once a fingerprint is on there, it will not come off, and it stays on there and it looks pretty terrible. So just lift it up and out like that, and we have our second motherboard, and we'll just sit that over there. And then what you're going to want to do next is take out these 4 Phillips screws to remove this metal plate out of the system. Alright, and once you remove those screws, just gently grab it and you can pull it up and out. And you can clean this with a Q-tip or 2 and some of the isopropyl alcohol. And once you're done cleaning it, you can just wipe it off with a microfiber towel and it should be nice and clean. And one more thing is you're going to want to remove these battery terminals. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a very small flathead screwdriver like this one I've got here, if my camera will focus. Very small flathead. And you're going to want to put it in these slots here at the bottom, and you can see that little tab, and you're going to want to push that tab in and see if you can push it down, and then the battery terminal should come out. And same thing here, just push that tab down and push it out and they should come right out. So let me see if I can do one of those real quick just to show you. So right here, get the screwdriver, push, all right. Push this tab in and then push it down. Alright, and your removed battery terminals should look something like this. You can see there's that little tab right there. And once you've removed them, you can take these 2 pieces, the battery cover and the button and button membranes, and you can take these all to the sink and clean them with a toothbrush and some warm soapy water. You can clean these battery terminals with Q-tips and isopropyl alcohol, and if they are corroded with battery acid, you can just leave them in some vinegar. So I am going to show you how to clean these button pads on the motherboard so that they can function properly. So what you're going to want to do is get a Q-tip. You're going to want plenty of Q-tips for cleaning Game Boys, and then get your isopropyl alcohol and soak the tip in a little bit of it, and then just gently swirl it around like this on each pad, on the D pad, the select and start, and the A and B buttons, and just do that. And once you have cleaned them off, the isopropyl alcohol should air dry, so don't be worried if it stays on the board like that. You are going to want to clean the speaker, which does get kind of dusty and dirty, so you're going to want to be very gentle when doing this because the speaker is very fragile. But just get a Q-tip that has some isopropyl alcohol on it and just gently swab it like this. If it does crinkle like that, it's no big deal. It just does that because it's plastic. But just be very gentle when doing it because you don't want to crack it accidentally. Just like that. And I will now show you how to clean things like the power switch, volume, and contrast wheel, wherever that is. So again, you're going to want to get a Q-tip and get it soaked in isopropyl, and then you're going to want to take said Q-tip and then just dip it in there and let the isopropyl drip in there, and then just flick the power switch back and forth just to let the isopropyl really soak in there and clean it. And then again, it'll just air dry, so don't worry about having it lingering in there because it won't linger. And then that should definitely improve the switches and knobs functionality. All right, and then once you get those clean, you should be pretty well off. Again, just clean these with warm water and soap and a toothbrush. Again, with this here, if you have this, all you have to do is take out this black cartridge, and there is a little open spot there, and you can open it, and then take a Q-tip with some isopropyl and just soak this part here about up to this first circle, and then just stick it in and out of the game port on the system, and then take it out and take the card and take the wet side with the isopropyl alcohol and stick it up so that you have the dry side, and then just insert it and take it out again multiple times until you think it's dry. And if you don't have this, you can take a game cartridge and put a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on these golden tabs inside, and then just insert it and take it out multiple times, and that will clean it too. And again, since it's isopropyl, it will air dry if you don't have a dryer. And to reassemble it, all you have to do is just put the buttons back in, and then the button membranes and the battery terminals, make sure they are in the correct way, and put in all the screws here and test it, and you should be pretty good to go. So thank you for watching, and have a good day. Also, a side note, I forgot to mention, these button pads, these are not supposed to be shiny. These are supposed to be matte. So what you can do is take again the faithful Q-tip with isopropyl alcohol and just gently swab it for a while until there is no more shine and it's just matte. And if you do that for the start and select buttons and for the A and B buttons, that will make them much more responsive and you won't have to click them multiple times. So that will definitely help with future gameplay. But yeah, that is it. Again, thank you for watching and have a good day.